I tell myself this literally every day. If you are in a really shitty part of your life that you're just like, why am I doing this? What is this for? Why is everything happening to me? Bitch, it's a part of your documentary. Hi everyone. How is everyone doing today? I hope everyone is doing well. So today I wanted to do a I feel like every time I do a video, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be very candid, very blunt, very blah, 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 blah. That's how I feel again today, because I'm going to tackle something that I have been wanting to tackle for a long time, but didn't really know how to go about it, didn't really know how to segue, because I have so many video ideas that I want to talk about that I just haven't gotten into just yet with my whole reincarnation of the person that I'm becoming. And it's been a little challenging for me to see how I want to go about it, especially like because lately I've just been in a very emotional state of mind when it comes to like my life, me, my family, where I'm headed, where I'm going, kind of deal. I'm just all over the place, which, I mean, what's fucking new? Like, let's be serious. What's new? But this was something that was like kind of important to me because I got a comment on one of my videos, and I even told her, I was like, not me gonna make a whole video responding back to your comment. So this is the video. But I always feel this way, which this is the comment. I'm just gonna put them on here so you go pause and read, because I'm gonna go based off of that, but like just so you guys can get an understanding. I got a comment and she was basically asking me like, how do I have a house? How does my husband have a truck? We're the same age, like what's going on? And honestly, I resonated so much with that comment because I always wonder that about other people my age. I'm just like, how are you doing this? We are the same age. I feel like we're doing the same things, but like you're so far ahead of me, I'm so far behind. Like, what am I doing wrong? And it really like begs the question of like, we're all adults here and we're all in that same boat of like, no one really knows what they're doing. No one really knows what they got going on. But it's like, how does everybody have a question mark over their head, but you have a house, you have a car, you have kids, you travel all day, you have all these designer clothes? Like, how does nobody know what they're doing but have all these things? And it really just opened up my minds to making a video, because like I definitely feel that 100%. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to that we're all just looking at each other like, how? I think the biggest question is like, how? What are you doing that like I'm not? But I also wanted to come at it from a different standpoint, not only just like also like being like, yeah, I feel you, girl. Like I want to know how to, but also kind of giving you guys insight on my life to kind of solidify the whole idea of like, you truly don't know what other people got going on. And that's why you really can't compare your life to other people, whether you guys are the same age, whether you guys do the same things, whether you feel like y'all are identical. Like everyone's life is so different. And I kind of want to start my video by having the disclaimer, like I'm going to go in detail about like my life and my experiences and how I did things, but I just cannot stress enough, we all, first of all, everything is so personal to everybody. Like relationships, upbringing, lifestyles, priorities. Everybody is so different, and it's so like niche to every different person. Your relationship is not my relationship. How I do things is not how you'll do things. Where I started is not how you started. You know what I mean? Because we all come from different backgrounds. We all start at different places. We're not all equal. You know what I mean? Like I can't be mad at like the Kardashian kids for being the Kardashian kids, because I kind of got a head start on other people because my parents gave me things that other people's parents don't have. Some people don't even have parents. So it's like, we are all on different playing fields. All of our obstacles are different. And so I really wanted to start off the video by saying that, like, although I'm going to share like my experience with y'all, just so you can relate and just see kind of like pulling back the curtain of being like, oh, I know. Because that's the thing. Like, we all know that what's on social media or like how people perceive themselves or portray themselves is not really like, I'm not gonna say the truth because I'm not lying about anything. I'm just not telling y'all everything. You know what I mean? But it's like we all have that. It's like, oh, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake. But if you see it enough times and you're just like, what? Like, how? We all know that all that glitters is not gold. And like, you know, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. We all know that. But to actually like put it into perspective and actually like go with that, it is different. So I did want to offer that kind of preface. I wanted to offer that preface just to let you guys know that like I'm going to be talking about this, but please keep it in mind, like everybody's life is different, everybody's goal is different, and that's kind of the basis of why I wanted to make this video in the first place, to show you guys like y'all are trying to compare yourselves to me, and like this is why, like I'm gonna tell y'all. So I also wanted to give you guys this because I don't feel like I give big sis, definitely not, because I'm not anybody's big sister, so like I don't have that quality, you know. But I feel like I'm best friend, like I'm bestie, that we're gonna go to Olive Garden. We are on a date at Olive Garden. We just got our spinach and artichoke dip. We are waiting for our chicken Alfredo. So let's chat about what's going on with our lives while we wait for our entree, okay? So get what you need to get so we can talk about it. So let's go ahead and address our commenters' questions first and foremost. And the comment had like multiple parts to it, which I'm still going to address in different videos, but I just feel like this is a great start, and then the other questions that she has is a great segue into like other videos. So girl, I got you. I'm gonna answer you in parts, but I also felt like this was a great conversation to have just overall, just so you guys, I'm telling you, just so you guys can see like it's just not what it's all cracked up to be, girl. It's not. And I like being the transparent one. I like asking the questions nobody else is going to ask. I like answering the questions nobody else is going to answer, and kind of give you guys, like, everybody knows this, but like nobody's able to just come out and say it. So let me be the one to come out and say it. So she says, we are the same age, been with my guy for 5 years now. What do you think made you both ready for marriage? How were you able to own a house and your man has a truck too? What do you guys do? I'd love to take notes, LOL. The first thing, I know you mentioned about like, was I ready for marriage? And it was a lot of marriage questions, which I'm going to do a whole separate video on that, how it pertains to me, my thoughts, my opinions. So I'm gonna like put a pin in that, like the whole questions about like my marriage and was I ready and all that stuff, and kind of go based off of how I'm able to how I got a house, how I got how my boyfriend has a truck, how I have a car, how I'm doing it, okay? And what you guys might not know the backstory of. Let's kind of bring it back a little bit to kind of put it into perspective, because I feel like a lot of misconceptions are out there too on people that I personally know, and just kind of like my videos and what I've said in the past. I was very, very, very spoiled growing up. My parents don't believe in used cars. We got brand new cars. All three of us, me and my sisters, got brand new cars. Anything that we needed, like, it was given to us and then some. Like, we didn't just have a phone. We had the latest iPhones. We didn't just have, you know, a regular computer. We had MacBooks. Like, I would say that like my parents by no means are rich. They're not wealthy. They don't have money. I think they have money in comparison to a lot of other people. I don't know. My parents, I don't come from money. Like, my parents are not rich. They're not wealthy. My dad doesn't have like some business or anything. My parents were working class people. We were spoiled in the sense that like my parents didn't really prioritize themselves. They prioritized us. So like they just gave us a lot, like, and I'm not saying we still had to wait for things. Like, my mom was always talking about some budget. Everything was a budget. But like when I say we were spoiled, it was in the sense of like we got a little bit more than what we needed. Like, yes, my parents got they had a roof over our heads and food for us to eat. But also, we would just go to them. It's like, if I needed socks for volleyball, I didn't just get Dollar Tree socks. I got Nike socks. You know what I mean? And like, now that I'm older, I understand how spoiled and privileged that is. Like, my parents gave us more than what was expected of them, and a lot more than a lot of people had. So growing up, I would always, like, my parents were my financial, like, security and stability. They didn't want us having jobs. That comes with a whole other issue that I'll go into in further videos, but neither here nor there. We were always set up in a way where, like, our parents would just do everything for us and give everything to us. That stopped completely once I got married. And I think that was a really, 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 really big shock to me, because it's like, how do you give somebody everything? They don't have an idea of, like, self-sufficiency, independence. They didn't have that. You just gave it to them their whole life, and then boom, 24 is when you're like, no, figure it out. So that is, like, a little bit of a background on how I've always been, like, a little hustler. Like, I've always had stuff. Like, I'm very money driven, and I do like to, I've always been a hustler in the sense of, like, if I need money, I'm gonna make money. Like, if I gotta do 10 people's hair in one day to make my money, I'm gonna do that. If I have to work at Publix, like, and that's what I mean when I say, like, I'm not above a job, and I don't job shame, I don't nothing shame, because I know what it's like to, like, not for survival. And I will say that's the difference between me and a lot of people, and that's where I have a lot of privilege, where it's like, I never had to survive. That was never my tea. But I always, like, if I wanted money, I was going to do whatever I had to do to get my money. So if that meant taking 10 clients in one day, if that meant working at Publix from Sunday to Wednesday and doing hair from Thursday to Saturday, no days off, like, just doing what I gotta do, I would do it. So I always had that, like, work ethic and that drive just personally. I just never really had to put it on, full throttle until I got married. And so how we were able to get a house, cars, all that stuff, first and foremost, I kind of have to put this in here. My parents and my husband's parents are very Christian, very religious, very strict. And so we lived with them, like, separately, obviously. We, like, lived with them, but their whole thing was that, like, we had to be married before we were able to live with each other. Once again, that is a whole other video. We'll get into that later, but just for the sake of this video. So we lived with our parents up until we got married. Now, with that, before I got married, my parents paid for everything, girl. They paid for my car, they paid for my insurance, they paid for my phone. They didn't give me money. Like, I wouldn't just be able to go to my dad and be like, hey, I want shoes, and he would give me money for it. That's not how it was either. But for, like, a majority of the stuff, I didn't have to pay rent. I didn't give them any money for staying in their house. I didn't give them money for my car. Like, they paid for a majority of that stuff. So all the work that I was doing, I knew that we were going to get married. I knew that we were, I wanted to get out of my parents' house anyway. But if I was getting married or not, I wanted to get out of my parents' house. So I was working a lot. And that's where, like, my whole thing comes from with this whole video. And I hate saying this, because I don't feel like it's constructive and I don't feel like it's useful, but this is just my personal experience. And I'm not the type of person to be like, pick yourself by your bootstraps, and if I have to work, you have to work, and if I have to wake up, everybody else has to wake. I don't believe in that. Like, everybody has their own thing and their own ways. Everybody has their own path. So I don't believe that, like, the way you get to something is you work hard and hard work is the only answer. Like, there's a lot of stuff and there's a lot of factors that contribute to people's successes and downfalls. But that's literally like the only thing that me and my boyfriend did. It's work. We worked a lot. I was taking advantage of the fact that I didn't have rent to pay, that I didn't have to pay these big bills, and I worked and I saved a lot of money. And my boyfriend did the same thing. He was working at an auto parts store. And like before I even get to that, it's like, I am coming from a full like working class citizen, girl. I pay my taxes. I gotta pay them. Like, I don't get refunds that much. Like, I pay my taxes. I freaking work. Like, I don't have no handouts. Girl, what I would give to qualify for food stamps. Like, oh my God. I am that middle class, working class. Me and my boyfriend, or me and my husband, we are that working class. We don't get no Medicaid. We don't get no food stamps. We don't qualify for nothing, bitch. Like, we are really paying for everything around here. So that's all, like, it's literally all we did is work, 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 and work. And that's where, like, I have an internal battle that I'll get to, but like back to what I was saying is like my boyfriend, he worked at an auto parts store. When we randomly one day, he told me, he was like, oh, I think I'm gonna get into real estate. And I'm just like, okay, mind you, he doesn't come from money either. Neither of us come from money. Working class citizens from working class families. Editing me here, so if I look different, I wanted to act like it wasn't editing me, but I'm like, I kind of look different, and like I moved my ring light, so I'm not sure if this is exactly how it was before I moved it, and like the lighting is a little bit different. I don't know. Anyway, I did want to come in here because also one of the things, like randomly one day he did bring up that he wanted to do real estate. But the reason why, and I really wish my boyfriend was like more public and like more open, because I'm not gonna spill his beans, but like he truly does motivate me, and he's just like so inspirational, and I just fucking love him. But this is also a big thing too, like during this time, the reason why he started, like what sparked the whole real estate thing, it was kind of random but not at the same time, was because during this time he had went to school for a very niche thing. And for the sake of the video, because I don't know, like I said, he's very private, so I don't want to spill his beans, but like, let's just say like the medical field. He wanted to be a doctor. So all of his schooling and all of his stuff was like medical. And everything that he did was for that, to be a doctor. So during that time, he had already graduated college, he got his degree, he had his credentials, he did everything that he was supposed to do, but he would not get hired anywhere. Like, nobody would hire him. And like, when I say, it was just like crazy to me. And that's why I'm just like, I wish he would just, say like his stuff, because it can be so relatable to everybody. Because like during this time, the whole reason he even started thinking about real estate was because he basically came to terms with the fact that like maybe this career path is just not gonna work out for him. Everything that he had worked towards was just kind of like failing, and it was a lot. Like, we just really, like, it was crazy, and I felt so bad for him just being like a bystander, because it's just like, wow, like life truly is so unfair. You can work and you could do this, you could do that, you could like really put your whole livelihood into something, and just for no reason, like, I don't know, like I'm telling you to this day, as just like a biased person that loves this man, but like who can also like just, he qualifies, he did everything. Like, what more could you want from a person? But that's really just like how, life is what it is, and like what's for you is not for you. And I also wanted to put that in here because I feel like that could also be very motivating for you too. Like, this is somebody who really put all their stuff, like all their eggs in one basket, and that basket like smacked them in the face. So that's how he even got into the whole real estate thing, because his career path was just not panning out the way he thought it was gonna be. And it's sad, especially for like college people. Like, you do everything that you're supposed to do because that's what like everybody says you're supposed to do, and it's like, why wouldn't you get it? And they never got it. And I just feel so bad for my boyfriend, and just like the fact that he can pivot and he can just make something out of nothing is just so amazing to me. But I also wanted to put that in there. Like, that's where the real estate thing came in, because we were really on some trying times during this period in our lives. So he told me one day, he's like, oh, I think I'm gonna get into real estate. I didn't really take it as anything. I didn't take it as a joke, but I didn't take it that serious either. Girl, he said that he was gonna buy a house, and he did just that. He was working at an auto parts store, and he was valeting afterwards. So like literally, he's working at the auto parts store from 12 to 9 p.m. and then valeting from 10 to 7 a.m. And I was just working. I was working my job as well as doing hair on the side, doing YouTube when I had the chance, doing wigs when I had the chance. Like, I can say that between the both of us, our work ethic is like actually insane. And I give him 100% credit for this house. He saved up all his money to put a down payment on our house. And that's why, like, I say, like, he bought the house. I just, I'm just in it because he did that himself. I cannot tell y'all how to get a house. I can't tell you what to do. I can't tell you nothing because I came from a very illiterate financial background because of the parents that I had. They always gave us stuff. They never taught us how to get stuff. Like, my dad didn't teach me how to buy a car. He just bought the car, and that was it. Like, that was all I had to do for it. And like, that's what I'm saying. Going from somebody who was spoiled, and then now all of a sudden it's like, figure it out. It's a lot of shock going on. And I had no choice but to, figure it out. I didn't have credit. Like, I didn't have credit. I didn't have credit at all when up until I was probably like 23. I never had a credit card. I couldn't tell you anything about credit. I had no clue. It wasn't until I met my boyfriend that he showed me like what credit cards are for, what you use them for, blah, 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 blah. And that's how I built my credit over time. I can't tell you, even my credit history now, because I'm still so new with credit. I'm on top of my credit, but like even my credit history is like, it's not that much because I just started this whole credit journey thing. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't tell you how to buy a house. I can't tell you none of that because that was my boyfriend's doing. He did that. But we legitimately work all the time. And that's like my internal battle with myself, because I'm always looking at other people that don't work. And like, you live in Miami and you're just like, do you people not have jobs? Like, how do you guys? And I think living in Miami also too, like, kind of messes you up mentally because it is so like rich people around the world live in Miami. They come to Miami. So being a working class citizen living in Miami is not the best for your self-esteem, but it builds character. That's like the thing. It's just like, how do you people live here? How do you, because I'm like, all I do is work. And then I'm just like, I keep bringing up my internal battle, but the internal battle with myself is like, I'm 25, I'm young. I shouldn't, be working so hard. I should be experiencing life, and I should be experiencing these things, and I should, be on a yacht somewhere and doing this, that, and the third. And I mean, I know people that are very like down to just like not pay their phone bill to go out to eat, or like not pay something to like buy something else. And I mean, that is so you. I just can't do that. Me personally, I don't know if it's because I'm a Virgo. I don't know if it's because I'm just anxious about money all the time. I'm a very anxious person when it comes to money, always. Like, I don't like owing people things. I don't like not having it. I'm just very like, when it comes to it. So like, that's why I don't like being in debt. Like, I see TikToks all the time of people being like, oh, I'm like $30,000 in debt. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Which pulls this whole conversation into perspective. You know what I mean? I don't have clothes. I don't have new clothes. I don't have new shoes. I don't go out. I can't party. I don't go clubbing. I don't do none of that stuff because I work so much for my house, for my car, for my dog. Jesus, this damn dog, so expensive. So obviously I don't make the most sound financial decisions. Don't take it like I'm just like the most responsible person in the world. It's just like my personality. I just can't live with debt. I can't. I don't know how people do it. I have like a little bit of credit card debt compared to everybody else. And I'm just like, oh my God, what in the world? This is not for me. I don't like having that feeling of owing people money. But some people do. And like, that's the thing. I don't get to do things. I have a house and I have a car and I have this stuff because I don't do anything else. I have no means of fun. Not fun. I'm not gonna say I don't have fun because I do. Like me and my boyfriend, we do a lot of fun things together. But it's like Olive Garden. You know, that's my idea of having fun. But like some people, like that's me. That's why I have it, because I don't do anything else but work for these things. And some reason, you know, some people, the reason why they're able to travel and because they're in debt. They don't care. They're in debt. And some people just don't buy groceries and they spent all their money on a purse. And some people spent all that, like it, and that's why it's like so crazy when we talk about these kind of conversations, because it's just like it really just depends on the person. I can't tell you that I did anything more than like, honestly and truly, if I could do it, you could do it, because like I didn't do anything different. I don't have any help. And that's the thing too. Like people think because I was spoiled when I was younger that like my parents helped me. No, ma'am. They don't. They don't give me money. Like I wish they gave me some money, because part of my struggles is their fault. Because it's like, how are you going to spoil somebody up until they're 23 and then be like, oh, well, you're not my problem anymore, so bye. Like, I don't know, but that's neither here nor there. But it really is like the answer to the question is that I work a lot, and I just so happen to have somebody who also works. That's why I don't get into the conversations of like 50-50 and like relationship, because truly it is all about you and your partner, how you guys work, and like what y'all's priorities are. And that's why like I also beat myself up. I told y'all, like I have a homegirl, she lives in downtown Miami. She's just living the best life ever, and I'm just like, girl, how are we doing it? But it's like, I don't know, like I know her mom pays for her phone bill, you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, maybe she's cutting corners because her mom. So I'm like, okay, if her mom pays her phone bill, maybe her mom pays half of her rent. Maybe her mom does this. Maybe her, you know what I mean? And I always think about that too when I had lived in Nashville with Paris, because it's like nobody knew that we lived in a studio apartment. And we made it into a 2-bedroom because nobody knew that we lived in a 1-bedroom, and nobody knew that she kind of had like the living room was her room and my bedroom was my room. Like nobody knew that. People are just seeing that we are 2 young girls living in Nashville. You don't know what our living situation is and how we had to like go about paying the rent and blah, blah, blah. Like people don't know that her parents paid for half of her stuff. You know what I mean? And people did not know that I was working literally 7 days a week to afford that. And so that's why it just like begs the question, like you really truly don't know people's backgrounds, and that's why you shouldn't even be comparing. And I know it's like so much easier said than done. I swear I know. But it really is like, that's why I wanted to give you guys a little bit of background on my stuff. Like don't think that I'm just out here like, first of all, I have the worst luck of my life. Like I'm pretty sure the unluckiest person doesn't have shit on me. Like I'm just the most unlucky person. I'm always getting just like I don't even know. Oh my God. But on top of that, it's just like, yeah, I stopped getting my nails done. I stopped like doing things. Like we just don't go out as much as we once did. And it is what it is, you know what I mean? And then like also too, I'm just one of those people that I don't care. I told y'all how I felt about the freaking chip in my windshield. You're not gonna get me to replace that until the entire thing is cracked and I got water coming through it. I'm just not gonna do it, because I'm not gonna spend $1,000 to replace a windshield. I'm not even gonna spend 400, and that's on the cheap side. You know what I mean? And so like some people will, some people won't. You know, everybody is just so like, and that's why I'm just so big on just focusing on yourself. Don't look to the right, don't look to the left, don't look, because you have no clue what people are going through. And like that's why I really wanted to start with this video and go into like my next videos, because girl, when I tell you, my whole life is just full of perception and how you portray yourself and how people receive you. Because boy, oh boy, I'm trying to tell y'all, life is just not what it seems. And even though like people will sit here and act like everything is perfect, and that's why I just like being fully transparent, because you're not gonna clock me. I already told y'all what I had going on. You can't sit here and be like, oh, nope, not me, nope, so sorry. You're not gonna be able to say that about me, because I already told y'all what I got going on. You can't tell me about myself. I already told you. So I just kind of wanted to address that first. That comment just gave me a video idea, and I am gonna address the rest of her questions in a later video, because I'm telling y'all, I have so much content I want to share with you guys, and it's personal stuff, and I feel like it'll be just like really nice and motivating and kind of like relatable to a lot of you guys, because every video that I make, I'm just like, dude, I cannot believe so many people feel like me, when I always feel like my feelings are so isolated and personal to myself. I don't feel like I ever know somebody who's going through the same thing as I am, who's doing the same things that I'm doing, or feeling the same feelings that I am. So hopefully I can help y'all out a little bit. So to answer your question, how I did, bitch, I work. And I work a lot. And I do a lot so that I can sustain myself. And I know that that answer is not really fun. And I wish I had like a code to like help you guys like get everything that you want to get out of life. But truly and honestly, if you are a working class citizen, you are not alone, and we stand in solidarity with all of the workers out there, because dude, it is really hard. And I feel like, especially with social media in this day and age, it's really hard to understand that like, no, like not everyone's an influencer, not everyone has a sugar daddy, not everybody is an NFL girlfriend. Some of us gotta wake up at 7 in the morning and go to whatever job we gotta go to. And it would be nice for, you know, the influencers to stop calling us broke for living our lives, because this is America and this is 2023. So if you are a working class citizen, make your money. If you work at Taco Bell, if you work at McDonald's, if you work at Publix, if you work in tech, if you work anywhere, just the fact that you have a job is amazing. And just the fact that you are doing what you gotta do says enough about you. So let that be today's motivation. You are you, and you gotta just keep doing you. I keep my opinions on how people spend their money to myself, because everybody's different, and you know, whatever gets you through the day and stuff. But at the same time, a lot of the people that don't even have anything going for them, or don't have anything like actually going for themselves, always want to talk about somebody and how somebody else is trying to better themselves. So don't even. Water off a duck's back. We are doing what we gotta do. I stand with you. I see your hard work, and I tell myself this literally every day. If you are in a really shitty part of your life that you're just like, why am I doing this? What is this for? Why is everything happening to me? Bitch, it's a part of your documentary. It's a part of your documentary. That is all you need to remember. This is just chapter 4 in the documentary series. Your Beyonce documentary is coming soon. This is just like a part where everybody has to talk about like, no, she was grinding. She was doing what she had to do. We're grinding. We're doing what we have to do. So keep the faith, bitch. Keep the faith. And Yeah, I hoped this helped a little bit. Maybe this didn't even answer your question, I don't know, but I do hope this helped a little bit. I have boogers coming out of my nose, so I'm gonna end the video here. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.